Good morning. Today we will look into type of languages. Now, when you talk about type of languages, it is broadly classified into two types. There are more kind of languages, but in the broad classification, it happens in two. One is called regular languages and the other is called non-regular languages. Now imagine you do have a language like this. L is equal to ABB, AABB, AAABB, and so on. AAABB, an infinite language. You can make a regular expression out of this language. Now, when you look into this language, you can see, like, B is going, BB, it is going on repeating. And then A follows a sequence 1A, double A, triple A, and so on. Imagine you even have an epsilon over here. Okay, or simply say BB. Okay, so A is going on repeating. You can make out a regular expression for this. You can say the regular expression is A star BB. Okay, this is the regular expression for this particular language. A star, it will go on. Okay, A star can become 0, star can become 0 when you get BB. When star becomes 1, you get ABB. When star becomes 2, you get AABB. When star becomes 3, you get triple AB, and so on. You can make a regular expression out of this particular language. So whenever a language can be expressed in terms of a regular expression, you say that it will be a regular language. So in simple terms, languages which can be expressed with the help of a regular expression, you call it to be a regular language. And of course, these regular languages, they will be able to recognized by your finite state machines, your FSM or your finite automata, both are the same. Yeah. So your finite automata will be able to tell whether it can be accepted. So when it is expressed with the help of a regular expression and your finite automata or the finite state machines recognize it, you call it to be a regular language. Now let's see, what do you mean by a non-regular language? Now a language, you say it is non-regular if it cannot be expressed in terms of a regular expression. So imagine you have a language like this. So I'll just give you an example. Imagine you have a language like this: AB, AABB, triple A, triple B, and so on. Okay, let us consider this particular language. And if we look into the pattern of the language, the number of A's and the number of B's are the same. Okay, look here. Here I have 1A, 1B, 2 A's, 2 B's. That is the pattern which it follows. 3 A's, 3 B's, 4 A's, 4 B's, and so on. Now, for this language, let us try to construct a regular expression. Okay, let us try to construct a regular expression. Now, let's try for something like, A star, B star. Okay, so this is the first regular expression which comes into your mind when you think about this particular language, A star, B star. Okay, so when you think about A star, B star, A can be any number of times, B can be any number of times. This is possible. But this doesn't fall into your language. Okay, but the rule which you want is the number of A's and the number of B's should be the same. Okay, you can even think about like this. This satisfies this, this satisfies this, but this doesn't satisfy this. Okay, you can even think of a string like this. It's when you think about triple A B, it satisfies A star, B star, but it doesn't fall into your language, which means this is not the regular expression. You think about any type of a regular expression, any kind of a regular expression, it might not satisfy L. Or in other words, if I think about something like this, A raised to N, B raised to N, where N is greater than 1. That will be satisfied, which means n and n for both A and B should be the same. So here I can have AB, then I can have AA, BB, I can have AAA, triple B, and so on. So if I think of this particular regular expression, my language is satisfied. A raised to n, B raised to n. Okay. Now let's come back to that language. Okay, you're talking about A raised to n, B raised to n, which will satisfy my language AB, AABB, AAA, triple B, and so on. Okay. Now look here. The problem for this language is, for this expression is greater than or equal to 1. Okay. Now come here. Now the problem for this particular expression is, you should be remembering the value of n. Okay. The value of n, it should be placed in your memory. Okay. So you should remember n and then A raised to n. And then when you do your B part, you should take the n from your memory and then replicate your B's accordingly. So in this particular regular expression, you will need a concept called memory to store the value of n. If you think about your normal expressions like A, B star, nothing is stored in your memory. Nothing is stored in your memory. So in things like A raised to n, B raised to n, where you need a concept of memory, your finite automata will not support it. Because finite automata, they do not support the concept called memory. Which means you cannot have a valid regular expression for that, and then it will not also fall into the concept of regular languages. So, for that, we will be having the need to have a concept called memory. So I was telling you earlier, languages which are not regular, they fall under the category called non-regular, and they cannot be represented and identified by a finite state machine simply because they will need memory. Finite state machines, they will not support memory. But there are languages like A raised to n, B raised to n, where you will need memory. Okay, so languages which require memory, where you need to count something, like here you need to count the value of n, you need to store it and all that. So all those kind of languages, they will fall under the category called non-regular languages. Now, when you go into the properties of regular languages, we go into the properties of regular languages and then we learn non-regular languages in detail. Now, when you talk about regular languages, the normal principles like union, intersection, concatenation, closure, everything will follow. So if you have two languages, L1 and L2, their union, L1 union L2, that will also be regular. If you have two languages, L1 and L2, both are regular, their intersection, L1 intersection L2, that will also be regular. If you have two languages, L1, L2, their concatenation, one after the other, L1 dot L2, that will also be regular. Same way, closure, if L1 is a regular language, L1 star, that will also be a regular language. Similarly, the complement. If you know a language L is regular, the complement L dash will also be regular. These are the properties of regular languages. Now, a very important thing is, as I told you, there are two categories, regular languages and non-regular languages. Okay. Now, we need to identify how a language is regular or non-regular. Now, to identify whether a language is non-regular, we do have a pumping lemma. As you all know, mathematics, lemma is nothing but an informal logic which will lead to another proof. Now, using a concept called pumping lemma, we can say whether a language is not regular. But using that, you cannot say that a language is regular. You can only find out whether the language is non-regular. This pumping lemma, it follows proof by contradiction. It follows proof by contradiction. So what you assume is, you assume that a given language A is regular. And then you go on proving, and at the end of the day, you say that it is not regular. So that is how you do it. So now I'll just go through the pumping lemma. It is actually very easy. When you do problems, it will be much more easier to understand. As of now, I'll just go through the pumping lemma. So the pumping lemma says that if A is a regular languages, you will have something called a pumping length. Pumping length called P. P can be any integer of your choice. P can be any integer of your choice. And if S is a string in the language of A, which has a pumping length P, you should be able to divide S into three parts. You call them an X part, Y part, Z part. You will have a string. You will divide the string into three parts based on the pumping length, into a part X part, a Y part, and a Z part. Again, that is your choice how you divide it. And all these three conditions should be satisfied. Xyi raised to Z should be contained in A for every I. The length of Y should be greater than 0. The length of xy should be less than or equal to your pumping length. If all these three are satisfied, you will say that the language is regular. If any one of them is not satisfied, you will say that it is non-regular. Any one of them are not satisfied, you get a contradiction, which means, it is not a regular language. Now, let's see how you do the pumping lemma. Now, these are the steps to perform pumping lemma. As I told you, you do proof by contradiction. First thing what you do is you assume that A is regular. You will have a pumping length, let's say P is equal to 3, can be anything. If you can give any number, I just randomly gave a P is equal to 3. All strings longer than P can be pumped. You see that with the help of a problem. You'll have to find a string S in A such that S is greater than or equal to P. Divide S into 3 parts. Show that this holds for any random I. Let's say I is equal to 3. Take out any I and then prove that it belongs to A. Again, for many type of divisions, try doing it. Show that none of these, any of these conditions are not satisfied. If it cannot be pumped, you say it is a contradiction, and then you say your language is non-regular. These are the steps to be followed. We'll start doing a problem, then you will find it easier. Okay, so have down the question. Prove that A raised to n, B raised to n, n greater than or equal to 0 is not regular.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the language you have is A equal to A raised to n, B raised to n, which means, AB, AA, BB, triple A, triple B, and so on. I can say number of A should be equal to the number of B's. This is the basic logic behind my language. The number of A's should be equal to the number of B's. Now, as the steps tell me, I should first assume that A is regular. assume that A, the language A is regular. Okay. I am under the assumption that I do have a language called A, which is A raised to N, B raised to N, and that is a regular language. You should have something called a pumping length. You will have a pumping length, let's say P. You can have any number, I'll just go for a number called 5. Any number is fine. Okay, now you should be introducing the pumping length into your language. Introduce or pump, that is why it's called pumping. Pump it into your language. So you know, my A raised to N, B raised to N, I'll say it A raised to P, B raised to P. I've now pumped it into my language. Okay, now A raised to P, B raised to P, it's actually A raised to 7, B, 5, I get 5, right? A raised to 5, B raised to 5, which is nothing but 5 A's followed by 5 B's. I know I will see many cases. For your easy understanding, I will see many cases. Actually, you do a single case and then you prove it is a contradiction, it will be a contradiction. Now, for it to be easier for you, I'll do many cases so that you get to understand it. So I'll go for case 1. Okay, case 1 is 5 A's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 A's and 5 B's. Okay. Case 2 also, the string is the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll even have a case 3, the same string. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you know, we'll now go for the splittings. Okay, now as the pumping lemma tells, you have a string called S. This is my string called S. And my string S, it should be divided into 3 parts, X, Y, and Z. Okay, I should be dividing my string into 3 parts, X, Y, Z. Again, X, Y, Z, you can do your own kind of a division. And now I'll just think about Y. First case, I can think Y is in my A part. These are the different ways you can do it. Y is in the B part. Y is in the B part. And the third I can say Y is in the AB part. Y is in the AB part. Now, case 1, Y is in the A part. So, you know, okay, I'll say this is my X, this is my Y, and this is my Z. Next is Y is in the B part. Okay, Y is in the B part. Okay, so this is my Y, this is my X, and this is my Z. Y is in the AB part. I just randomly took this Y. So this is my X and this is my Z. So as I told you earlier, you can take any one case, prove it as a contradiction, that's it. I'm just showing you different ways how you can do it. So now, as told earlier, I left out a B over here. Okay. So you know, you can actually take any one case and then prove it as a contradiction. I'm just doing different ways of doing it. Now, once you have divided your string into 3 parts, you should calculate X, Y, I raised to Z in all the 3. Okay, X, Y, I raised to Z, X, Y, I raised to Z. As I told you, I could be any integer. I'll just go I is equal to 2. I is equal to 2 means X, Y, 2. Which means, you know, X should happen once, Y should happen twice, and Z should happen once. Okay, so I'll now write down X y raised to 2 z. So x is what? I have a triple A. Y I have to write twice. Y I have to write twice. So I'll write AA, and then Z I'll write only once. Now, as per the language, number of A's should be equal to number of B's. Now let's calculate the number of A's and the number of B's over here. So I'll go for the counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7A. It should be equal. It should be equal to the number of B's. I do have only 5 B's. It is not equal. Contradiction. Language is not regular. That's it. So you can finish up the proof here itself. It's over. No, I'll just see even another case. X is only 5 A's. Y, I have even a B in X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B. Y should happen twice. BB should happen twice. And then I have my Z. Let's do the counting. I have 5 A's. The RHS should also be equal according to the rule. But now I have 7 B's. The language is not regular. I go for this. X is 4A. Y is AB, and then hope I've written out everything. Okay. Now look here. This case is an interesting case. Number of A's equal to number of B's, and actually, because it is A raised to N, B raised to N, you can have B's only after A. Okay, look here. You can have B's only after A. Look at this guy and this guy. So here itself, you need not count actually. It is not valid. This is not valid because B's should have come after the A's. So if you go back to your pumping lemma, for each I, it should be contained in the language. Okay, you were able to prove you took random number of cases which didn't hold. So this is wrong, which means it is not regular. You can even go for the other two conditions. Okay, we'll go for this condition. XY is less than or equal to P. Okay, so for each case, let us find out whether XY is less than or equal to P. The length of XY. Here the length of XY is 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. 5. That is satisfied, but the first portion is not satisfied. X, Y, I, Z, that is not satisfied. So, this alone holding doesn't make sense. Okay. Now, let's come over here. X, Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're telling 8 should be less than or equal to 5. Doesn't hold. Okay. So, let's come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're telling 6 should be less than or equal to 5, which doesn't hold. So only if everything holds, you can say that, or in other words, if anyone doesn't hold, the language is not regular. So we saw that, all the 3 cases, this did not hold. Y greater than 0 will hold for all our 3 cases. XY less than P, for one case, it was okay. For the other case, other 2 cases, it wasn't okay. So only if everything is satisfied, you say it is a regular language. Okay? If anyone is not satisfied, it is not a regular language. Thus, proved that A raised to N, B raised to N is not regular. So we'll continue with our next problem. Prove that language A equal to YY, where Y is a combination of zeros and ones, is not regular. Now, when you look itself, you can tell that the language is not regular. Why? Because, the finite state machine should remember what is Y. It should remember what is Y, and then the Y should be repeated again. So y has to be stored inside your memory. Then only if y is stored in your memory, you can retrieve it and then replicate it again. So in a single look itself, it is not regular. But let's prove it with the pumping lemma that it is not regular. So I can have a language like this, 0, 0. That is possible. I can have a language like this, 0, 1, 0, 1. So here, this is my y, this is my y. Here, this is my y, and then this is my y. Because y can have any combinations of zeros and ones. I can have a language like this, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. I'll repeat it again. I stored it in my memory and now I'm retrieving it. My finite automator will not help me to do it. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So, all these are components of that particular language. So, the basic logic behind this particular language is the first half should be equal to the second half, isn't it? That is the basic logic behind this particular language. Whatever is your first half, that should even be a second half. Now, let's do it. Here, I'll just do a single case because you know how to do different cases. I'll just do a single case and let's be happy with it. So, first thing what you do is you assume that A is regular. Assume that A is a regular language. Introduce a pumping length P. Pumping length P. Let's say random 5 or 3 or 7 or 8 or whatever you want. I introduce a pumping length called P. Now, when I talk about the language, a normal string, I can think of it like, it can be a combinations of these, isn't it? A combinations of zeros and ones. This is my first step. This is the basic thing. A combination of these. This is my language. Now, as per the lemma, what you should do is introduce or pump. Pump your P into the language. Pump your P into the language. I can do it anyway. I'll just go for the very simple thing. I'll pump P. 0 can happen any number of times. 1 can happen any number of times. I'll just go 0 raised to P, 1. 0 raised to P, 1. Now, I've given my pumping length P is equal to 5, which means, I meant 0 raised to 5, 1. 0 raised to 5, 1. Till now it is satisfied. My first half is my second half. Okay. Now I'll just go for a single case. You can do different cases later. Case 1. I will have my string. So what is my string? I will have 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 1. And then I'll have 5 more zeros. And then a 1. So that is my string. As for the pumping lemma, you will have a string called S. You should be dividing it into 3 portions, X, Y, and Z. Okay, I'll just do a random division, X, Y, and Z. Okay, X, Y, and Z. I've divided my string into 3. Now I need to calculate X, Y, I raised to Z. And take a random integer. I'll give anything other than 1. I'll give I raised to 2. Which means I need to calculate X, Y raised to 2, Z. X should happen a time, Y should happen twice, and Z should happen once. So I'll just write it down. X will happen once. X is how many zeros here? 4 zeros. X is happening once. Y should happen twice. Y 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Y should happen twice. And then I should have my Z. Okay, so let me just roughly take the length of the string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, here itself it went. The length of my string is 15. Okay? I can't have a first half and a second half. How do I divide my string? I don't know. You should either divide 7, 8, and so on. As per the rule, the first half should be equivalent to the second half, which is, impossible in this particular string. Let's check this. The length of xy is less than or equal to p. So, it went away. Pumping lemma contradiction, not a regular language. Let's do xy less than p. 4, 5, 6, 7 less than or equal to p. That also went away. We can do another case. Let's see another case. S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay. So, I'll have this as x. I'll have this as y. I'm just doing random divisions, no calculations. Okay, I'll write xy square z, which means 1, 2, 3, 4. X once, y twice. 0, 1, 0, 1. Then I'll have. Okay, so this is my x, y square, z. Let me take the length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I get a string of 14 divided into 2. Why? Because the rule tells me check whether the first half is equal to the second half. Divide it in 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm dividing it over here. Check whether the first half is equal to the second half. It is not. First half is not equal to my second half. Went away. You can even check for xy less than or equal to p. X is 4, 5, 6. 6 should be less than or equal to 5. Doesn't move. Therefore, this language is not regular. So it proved that the language YY is not a regular language.